Now, Cyrus, I'm going to tell you something. If you ever decide to pull off a heist, make sure that you take Leon and I with you because you know all black people steal.
Well, yeah.
According to this movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They're either straight up thieves, they're two-story men, or they're safe crackers.
Are they shine shoes real good?
I agree with that statement, Cyrus, by the way.
They work as doormen all their life, and all they wants to do is retire.
For the record, outside of if it was a game or something or the PlayStation, could you see me organizing a heist?
You know what? The way the heist is so implausibly organized in this movie, with Tower Heist, you could.
You fall.
Even you can organize a heist.
If you can organize your sock drawer, you can organize this heist, apparently.
Yeah.
You know what?
So Brett Ratner's Ocean's 11. You just kind of fall backwards into a successful heist.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I come to you like, hey, Corey, you know how to work this sound equipment. That makes you a master of electronics, and I need that for this heist I'm doing.
Yeah, and all this stuff is stolen too. So, but you know what, man? This is going to be an interesting talk because as many things as there are wrong with this movie, and there are a lot. I myself still kind of enjoyed this film, and I saw you guys walking out of it like, I mean, I heard just when the credits roll, I heard Leon and Cyrus.
The problem wasn't
Complete
you didn't hear
disgust.
us saying that during the film.
The problem wasn't.
No, everybody else was talking in the theater at the
No,
time.
everyone was unraveling the plot.
Yeah, before it happened.
And doing commentary.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there was a plot to unravel, really. The film would just go, look, it worked. What worked?
What?
Never mind. Look at that.
Just keep going.
Eddie
Tell
Murphy
that to
just
that
did
lady
something
behind
funny. Look at Eddie Murphy. He's so funny. There, don't worry about it. It worked.
Yeah.
No, I don't think either one of us hated it. We were just kind of bored.
Extremely bored.
You know, because it's like Hollywood at its worst in the sense of like, whatever, audiences are stupid. They'll just believe whatever we tell them. And we'll do the same lousy set pieces that don't even have an ending or come to anything.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's just, okay. I felt like I was just being led to the pit of gruel. There you go.
Look,
Eat up.
Look, it's the Walmart version of Ocean's 11, okay? I mean, it really is.
You know what?
Shit, this is the
that kind of
Piggly
ends the
Wiggly
review right there.
version.
You just said it.
Well, thank you. Go home
Honestly,
now.
I've never seen a movie where so often they set up a joke for a punchline. Before they got to the punchline, they just went like, dot, whatever else. You know how it goes. Move on to the next scene.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you're not going to finish that off with a joke, huh? We're just on to the next thing. Everything just works because why not?
Movie magic. Yeah.
Awkward character stuff, like they have to throw little bits of drama in there with the main characters that don't add up to anything at all.
Nothing at all.
They'll just be like, oh, they're there, so you can be like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And then they're like, oh, well, it's time for them to get along again, so we're just gonna move along with the story.
I understand what you guys are saying, and maybe it's because I read up on what this movie could have been at one time. Seriously,
What they wanted it to be.
what they wanted to be at one time.
You're
Because
gonna rate this movie higher based on potential?
if you hear what's going on in my head right now, maybe so, because Eddie Murphy was attached to this like back in 2005, and it was going to be
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was going to be an all black cast of guys who were doing the heist, and I'll read the names off to you.
Okay. Kevin Hart.
It was going to be Eddie Murphy, Chris Tucker,
Cedric the Entertainer.
no, Martin Lawrence, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, and Tracy Morgan. Now, imagine all those guys in a room talking at the same time. They wouldn't have to pull the heist. You would throw money at them to shut up. Get out. Just leave.
Dave
honestly.
Chappelle wouldn't have showed up. He would have known what kind of tragedy that would have been to put on film.
Yeah, you can't have Chris Tucker and Kevin Hart in the same scene because nobody can tell them apart.
No, you might as well just have two crows in the same movie. but man, so it throughout the years and went through. Eddie Murphy left when it started changing into something.
You know what? He left when they got other black people in the movie. He's like, hey, it can only be one. It's got to be me.
Where you where all these black people from? Yeah. I'm out.
No, Dave Chappelle walked in, and I think that was the time probably the Dave Chappelle show was still running, making his money. He was like, here's the fool that just took my job away. And,
Well, years later, after like several rewrites, they got Eddie Murphy back in, and they got Brett Ratner, because Brett Ratner was supposed to direct Ocean's 11, and he's like, well, and then he was like,
wow.
He's mad. This is his revenge.
This is his revenge. Oh, and on top of that, he was supposed to direct Horrible Bosses. He just produced it, but he's supposed to direct that. And he's like, damn it, I'm gonna get my heist movie one way or another. And so he got this finally to direct it. And
Brett Ratner's heist, right?
It's like they forgot to give it a title, though. It's like they're so lazy they just took off the word untitled off the title, where it was originally Untitled Tower Heist Heist movie.
Right.
And they said, we'll just keep the Tower Heist.
So you're probably listening to this and you're saying, well, man, they took all those black people out the movie. Who did they replace all those black people with? Well, they replaced them with some good old Jews and white people.
Yeah, Impressious.
Impressious. They brought Impressious. He was enough black people for everybody. But so in this movie, we have 4 employees at a ritzy apartment building. We have Josh, who is the building manager, who's played by Ben Stiller. We have the concierge, who is also Josh's brother-in-law, played by Casey Affleck. And then we have Enrique, the gay hairdresser. No, actually, he's actually a new bellboy who's played by Michael Pena. And then we have Odessa the maid, who's Gabrielle. What's that last name? Sidibe. Okay, I always get that wrong.
Sidibe.
So Sidibe. Yeah, some days I say Sidib, some days I say Sidibe, so it's Sidibe.
No, don't forget my actual favorite character from the movie with Matthew Broderick.
Oh yeah, Matthew Broderick.
That's right, Ferris.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller. He plays like a guy who went bankrupt on Wall Street, who's about to be evicted out of this.
And he's
out
like,
of this
no,
place.
I'm not leaving. No.
Now, when they lose all their fortunes in a Ponzi scheme, that's because of a rich Wall Street business guy played by Alan Alda, they find out that he's under house arrest in the penthouse in the building that they're all working in, which makes this a fine time to get their money back because everybody lost their pensions
Get
here.
with this. Yeah.
Now, they can't do this all alone. Why? Because they're all white. Well, they got one black person, but she's a girl. You know, she's just a dumb old girl. What is she going to do? So what better way to pull this heist than to get back at that son of a bitch by going and getting a good old fashioned black stereotype. You know, in this case, Eddie Murphy, who plays Slide the petty thief.
Oh yeah.
And who's a lesser version of Jamie Foxx from Horrible Bosses, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. And so I really do have a problem with this. I mean, you tell me if I'm being, I don't know, maybe a little too sensitive. Did they really have to go and get a black man to help them pull off this thief, like just a streetwise, cocky ass, jive talking black person?
Of course not.
Well, they probably did, but instead they got Eddie Murphy instead, who's kind of a half-ass everything you just said.
See, I didn't think that they really casted a black person or even Eddie Murphy. I thought they cast that fucking donkey from the Shrek movie and gave him a shitload of coke and a gun. I mean, 'cause that's all I saw in this movie. I didn't see no Eddie Murphy. He was in this, really?
I thought they had this Eddie Murphy and they cast a movie around it. Is pretty much what it was, because it was like, okay, we just got to put Eddie Murphy in here somewhere. Just write something. I think Ben Stiller needs some work.
For all he's in there, they might as well have hired Charlie Murphy, who I think actually would have been fresher and done a better job.
You're
'Cause it's
absolutely
like
right.
Eddie Murphy was kind of sleepwalking through
You're
this.
absolutely right, because he was sleepwalking because he was hardly in it. Part of me was just a little annoyed that I'm like, okay, Eddie Murphy, you really taking it up to 11 right now. Why do you really need to do that, man? I mean, you're Eddie Murphy. Don't forget. And surprisingly, while watching this movie, I'm like, wow, he's hardly in this. I was really shocked by
the
that.
trailer is almost entirely just the clips that he's in, which is largely the series of disconnected, go nowhere set pieces that feel completely out of place from the rest of the movie. Okay, now here's how I'm gonna tell you how to be a criminal. Okay, now sit your white ass down. You know, and to be like something like, wait, why are they even doing that? And then they won't even see it play out. Like he locks them all on the roof, and they go and makes a joke. I'm gonna go have sex with Rita, and locks the door. If you can get in with these bobby pins, then you're a criminal. And they go, who is Rita? No, you never find out who Rita is.
Next scene, they're all in the apartment watching TV.
Exactly, and you don't see them get in. So it was like, what was the point of that?
Yeah,
how did that even come into play?
I want to go make another Shrek movie, all right? Don't worry about that. Yeah, that ain't the point of the movie.
Eddie Murphy walked into the door and then out came Donkey. Like, wait, what happened? What happened? What movie is this?
Yeah.
If it had been funny, sure, okay. But it was like, it wasn't even trying to be funny, really. It was just like, white people, you're so stupid, you don't know how to rob anything.
Well, you know
Y'all a
what,
bunch
man?
of bitches. Bitch. I was like, okay, I'm counting. There's 27 bitches so far. Nobody knows how to write a script anymore.
I'm gonna be the odd man out here and say that I liked Eddie Murphy in this. I mean, that's where I had the conflict. Like, I don't like what he was cast as, but this is kind of close to Eddie Murphy that I used to like a long time ago. This is closer to that Eddie Murphy I knew back in the 80s than anything he's done today besides Donkey. It's Eddie Murphy being Eddie Murphy, but he's made me laugh more than he has in a long time without having been an animated character.
Wow, I think I got 2 chuckles out of him. This is the Eddie Murphy I remember from Beverly Hills Cop 3, where I was just like, dude, can we move on to something else?
It's like watching someone else do an impression of
Yes,
Eddie Murphy.
exactly.
It's not like watching Eddie Murphy. Because back in those times when we loved Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours and Beverly Hills Cop and Trading Places, when he's doing that in intense Eddie Murphy, he had great material to work with while he was doing it. So it was funny. He was an interesting character. He was a character you rooted for. Here you're like, wow, you're almost a villain here, really, and not an interesting one at all.
No, yeah. He just had no dimension. No, nor did really anybody else. It's like they came on as one thing, and that's all there was to him. And it's like nobody had any sense, except for Casey Affleck's character seemed to be the only character in the entire movie that had any kind of common sense.
Even though I thought he was sleepwalking through the movie.
he totally
just
was.
looked like
He
he was
totally
passing
was.
out while he was reading his lines.
No, like I
Maybe
said,
we
only
should
character-
not do